Hello everybody, if you're joining us on the replay, just sharing this out, and Facebook. Jim is just doing weird stuff.
Always doing
You can't get her to concentrate, I'll tell you. I think she's got hyper ADHD.
I'm trying to do too many things at once in life these days. Sorry everybody.
Join our live stream. Boom. If you are watching this on the replay, thank you for your kind patronage of us. We really appreciate it. Manus is in the house. What's up? Just getting set up, Mr. Manus. Oh. Boom. It's a bit. Here we go. That looks about nice. Let's snip it up a bit. Ah. Okay. How was my birthday? So yeah, that was 2 days ago. If you didn't know that, anyone who happens to look at this, it was amazing. Thank you. Yeah, I had the best day. Had the best day. Bit of shopping with a little lady, bit of training, had a nice night out. I shot a vlog of the day, so that'll be out maybe Saturday if I can get it edited in time. I got a card from Dr. Gregor. Well, not a card. I got a thing on a sticker from Dr. Gregor. It just happened to come on my birthday though. Look, Paul, to your health, Michael Gregor. Boom. It's my best one. Apart from you, obviously.
Well, you added that at the end.
Okay. So, got this on the go. Black eyed beans, kalettes, were my favourite vegetable, kalettes. Got some mushies, cauliflower. I've got some white potatoes for a change. White potatoes. Just to mix it up. I know they're not as nutritious as some things, but I've not had them for a while and I just wanted them today. Also we've got red cabbage, carrots, leek. And yeah. Amy's in the house. Who's
saying things?
Yeah.
Oh, if anyone wants to thumb up the stream, that would be much appreciated.
Hi Alicia.
Let's see his hair.
These white potatoes are delicious.
Yeah.
I feel like I really appreciate them. Now that I've not had them for a while and I'm on a cut. Thanks, guys.
Sorrelella71 says good evening.
Hi, lovely.
Aga Jafali says hey. Layla says ho.
You don't know whether to say that, do you, Jim?
Say what?
That.
What this?
The thing you're umming and ahhing about, probably.
Is it rude or?
Hey, Kathy.
Hull McTrusty says, how do you get your bananas not to be hard? You know what I mean, they're very dry. You just have to leave them for many days. Many days. In the winter, yeah, this time, if you're in the UK or somewhere cold, you have to leave them like a week or like a long time. I think you can put them in like a brown bag and then they ripen sooner. Isn't that some sort of trick?
Ethanol. Is a word.
We always get some from Tesco's or wherever we shop, and then we eat them the next week. So then the next week we order more. We're always eating last week's bananas. If you see what I'm saying. Yeah. Alicia Beavis says hi.
She's good people.
Amy says, how have you been? I made my protein order. Oh, from your video, I guess. Is your link?
Who was that?
Amy.
Oh, lovely.
Is your link working now?
Yeah. Do you know, I think they put, they told me Hench, MPV Hench. I think that they put MPV Herb I think that's where they went wrong, because they said, oh, we'll try and add this new one, but in the meantime we'll try to get Henge Herb, MPV Herb working as well. And I'm like, why would you say that? So I think they messed up there. But anyway, it's working now, and yeah, a few people have ordered, so thank you. That just helps. You know, I'm not an affiliate of them, but if people can see that when, you know, they paid me to do the video, obviously, and I got a load of free stuff, and then it just inspires more people to support the channel, you know, in terms of companies, and so I really appreciate you guys like supporting us in that way, you know, as well as all the other ways you do.
Well, I think it was really generous of them to give 40% off as well. That's awesome, isn't it?
Yep.
Kathy's saying, how was your birthday dinner?
That was delicious. Vegan potato soup with crusty rolls, and then what did I have? Mac and cheese. It was good. And oh yeah, I had the nut roast. It was delicious. Tipsy Vegan in Norwich for the win.
Yeah, that was great. They, like, I was like, no nightshades and preferably not to have really oil. Like, it was just, we had so many requests, and they just sort of bent over backwards, really, didn't they, to cater for us. And considering that they were full with all of us, you know, to capacity, it was really nice of them. So I really appreciate that. Yeah. Yasmin says you can never have too many bananas. What's your ultimate favourite smoothie or breakfast option?
I just have porridge all the time with chopped up dates for sweetness, different berries for sweetness and colour, pigment, antioxidant. Sometimes cherries lately, they're nice, aren't they? We get these sweet frozen cherries from Tesco. Flax meal on the top, and then sometimes, so on a bulk, and particularly when it's cold, I'll have that as porridge. If I'm on a cart, I'll tend to have that as porridge, and more in the winter potentially as well. But on a cart, on a bulk, I'll tend to make it into a smoothie because it'll be so voluminous, it'll be hard to eat it. So same stuff though. Same ingredients: oats, berries, dates, flax seeds.
I really love smoothies. Whenever I make them though, I always put too many greens in. I just think, oh, I'm having a smoothie, I might as well just whack loads of greens in, like disguise or whatever. But my smoothies aren't ever as sweet as like they could be, sort of thing. So I think I'll stop putting quite so many greens in there. Harmon Trusty is saying, have you seen that video about saying too many bananas can cause potassium overload? That's a load of rubbish, right? You wouldn't be able to eat enough.
It is physically impossible to eat and digest enough. On a recent USDA list of the top potassium containing foods, bananas came 1,611th. They're rubbish for potassium.
Lewis says, what are you eating?
Kalettes, white potatoes, carrots, mushrooms, red cabbage, black eyed beans. There's some leeks in there.
That's
about it.
This man eating his microorganism like a true Neanderthal. How do you say it?
Neanderthal?
Yeah, making all kinds of gains.
All kinds. Boom. Cauliflower.
Yasmin is asking if we've heard of the vegan cruise and saying something you guys would do. Yes.
So this sticker of Dr. Gregor's message to me with his signature, that came from the first cruise. One of my clients met him and got that for me, and it happened to turn up on my birthday. She posted it, just with a Christmas card actually. Came on my birthday. I thought it was the best birthday present ever. I was fanboying.
What should I do if my something's are sore. What does that say? Joints, maybe that's meant
Joints,
to say.
I'd imagine.
Joints are sore, yeah.
Have a rest. Make sure your nutrition is on point. Whole foods, plant-based, not too high in omega-6, which is pro-inflammatory. Have you got a problem with nightshades as well? 1 in 20 people have trouble with nightshades, which gives them sore joints. And there's a lot more nightshades than you care to know if you've not really looked into it before. Goji berries, gooseberries, sorrel. Blueberries can be a problem for people that are allergic to nightshades because they're high in the alkaloids.
Have a month or 2 or 3 off the nightshades maybe, see if you notice any difference, and then add them back in. That's what I'm actually doing at the moment.
Don't forget that amla is Indian gooseberry, so that could be a problem.
Alicia puts beans in her smoothies for the gains. Sora Lola says, can you read this? Yes, I can. Aga Jafali is asking why I've been ignoring his questions, because I thought that maybe you might be, what am I trying to say? Being naughty. I wasn't sure. I thought your questions might be, you'll be trying to get more and more inappropriate. I don't know. Seeing what I'd read out. Mizzy says hello.
That name reminds me of Meeseeks off of Rick and Morty.
Oh yeah.
Where are you in the world, Meesy?
Mikolaj says hello. Any tips for getting friends, family to try veganuary? By the way, it's pronounced. Oh, I should have read that bit first. Miko Y? Miko Y. Is that right? Tips for veganuary. I guess all you can do is suggest it, really. I don't know, what do you say?
Get them to look at a bit of propaganda, like a documentary or something, and show them why, like, it's important.
Yeah, give them some facts. Speak to whatever you think they'd most be influenced by. So like if they mostly care about health things, or if they've got some health things already that you know veganism can help with, then maybe you can sort of approach it from that angle and tell them some things you've learned, like about veganism and health. Or if they love animals, you can go from the ethical side, you know. So speak to whatever you think they'd most be interested in. Sometimes it can't come from you if it's people who are really close to you. So for example, I know, like certain people, they would be more inclined to listen if the message came from a doctor. Then they'd feel like, oh, it must be, you know, good for me then if it's, you know, from a doctor. So maybe you could send them like people like that, videos from like a plant-based doctor, you know, for example. Got anything else to say on that?
No.
Okay. Hope that was somewhat helpful. What do we think of vegan gains versus Dave
Palumbo
debate? I don't know.
I haven't really looked TBH.
Elisa's asking how my course is going. Thank you for asking. Really good. I have to write my first essay and I've been really struggling for a while, and then I decided to change the question. I've got 2 I can choose from, and then today I just finally got somewhere and I started writing a load of stuff down. It started to make a bit of sense, and tonight I feel really happy because I feel like I can do it. I can see there is a way to do it, so I feel some relief from my stress. Harla's saying, I hate red cabbage with a passion, but what are the benefits to it? My gym partner wants me to eat red cabbage over regular cabbage. Does it have more micronutrients?
8 times the antioxidants. 8.
But you could just eat another purple vegetable. You could eat like aubergines instead or something if you don't like it. Could that be a thing?
No.
Okay.
No.
Do we believe in God? That's actually a really good question. Well, it's an interesting question. I've never been asked that one here.
I don't believe in like formalised sort of religion.
like organised religion.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I believe there's a lot more going on than we can see and touch and hear.
I mean, what does God mean, really? Like, somewhere we come from, like source, like a creator, or...
Yeah.
I sort of would, but I'd more use the word, like, source, if you sort of heard of such a way of naming it.
Like mass consciousness?
Yeah. Like, we're all one, we come from somewhere. There's, like you said, there's more to life.
Like, perhaps we are the universe experiencing itself.
Yeah, that seems...
For a temporary time through this...
meat suit.
Temporary meat suit.
I believe when we die,
made out of vegetables.
Yeah.
I don't want to say we die when our bodies die.
Yeah. There you go. Lewis is asking if you're coming to King's Lynn. What's that? Some sort of event there? Oh, and he's got a veganism car sticker in your car.
Oh, good man. Yeah, no plans to, I'm afraid. Maybe like when there's a vegan fair or something I might do at some point. I'm doing all the biggies, and weekends I tend to coach my clients, so it's hard to do everything.
Courgette, just found out courgettes are actually rubbish. Low in calories, don't really have much nutrition besides vitamin C. Is that accurate?
We don't know the half of nutrients. We've named 5,000 nutrients so far. If you look on Chronometer, there's not 5,000 nutrients marked on there. And they say at the rate we're discovering them, there's probably like 100,000 yet to be discovered. And they're probably great in some way or another.
Oh, Yasmin's got good advice. Perhaps suggest some meals they could relate to, or invite them, for a meal you prepare. That is really good advice, yeah. Oh, somebody's just super chatted you.
Oh, Karen, you're lovely. What do you think about intermittent fasting? Anecdotally, I've heard great stuff. Some athletes swear by it. We've had clients that have enjoyed it. Typically ones who are trying to lose fat. One thing I heard, I've not seen a big bodybuilder doing it, or a big strength athlete. And so some science suggests that growth hormone is elevated when we're not eating. But it's such a tiny amount, it wouldn't contribute to muscle growth. It has to be really supra physiological doses to do any noticeable thing. However, I know when we don't eat for a long time, it drops our testosterone, which would have an effect on our ability to build muscle. So some people say you can build muscle, but those people are always really skinny. So I've not seen it backed up in the real world. So I don't know. From my perspective, I want to eat so much low-calorie vegetables. I just physically couldn't do intermittent fasting. But I've not done it, so I can't really... I'm not going to poo-poo it. Some people say it's good. It does seem to benefit some hormones. And thank you for the super chat. You are most lovely.
Yeah.
What you got, a cat on the go?
I did have.
Did I cover that one?
Yeah, I believe so.
Would you ever have a go at it? You
no.
did a bit of a fast, didn't you?
I did I did a water only 33-day fast, and that properly helped my body to heal some long-standing things, and I was so much better when I left that place than when I went there. It's really helped me a lot, actually. But like intermittent fasting, when I was there, they weren't a fan of it, the doctors there. And ever since, I haven't really looked into it, data science wise, so I wouldn't really know. But I feel like I sort of have heard about, to keep your hormone levels good, like consistent eating and no big spikes or dips in blood sugar levels is good for like your thyroid and things like that. So I don't know if you're going a long time without eating. I don't know.
Herbivores tend to graze, don't they?
Yeah.
You don't get herbivores who gorge, like predators gorge.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't know. I like the idea of eating consistent little meals and spread out. Yeah, little and often. I cycle everywhere in the day, so I'd like to keep my energy levels good. So it doesn't feel like it's for me.
How about you guys? Have you got any? Like, well, I would say we haven't done it, so we can't really comment. But have you guys got any what's the word I'm looking for? Experience.
Yes.
I'm interested. I'm always interested to learn more.
Experimental is asking probiotic suggestions, please.
I've not really looked into, if you mean like supplements or whatever, I've not really looked into that. Unless you've had like a big dose of antibiotics, it's no real need. What we really need to do is feed the Prevotella strains that were already there. So it's just the whole plant foods and legumes for the resistant starch as well as the different fibres. And they just mushroom out of, they just bloom out of control. Like, it doesn't take long. It's really prebiotics, which is like I say, your fibres and your resistant starch, and the probiotics come on the foods that have the prebiotics because they're on there because they want to feed already. So we have got probiotics before, but it was before we were vegan. A company called Nutri, very expensive. The jury's out, I think, as to how effective like they really are, like whether they get through your stomach acid and things. But certainly, unless you've had serious bacterial like gut infection or antibiotics, just get the prebiotics in there. That's all you need. You just need to feed, and again, like you can put all the probiotics you want. If you're not putting in the prebiotics, you know, say someone's eating a junk foods diet and animal products, it'd be a waste of time anyway. Like they wouldn't stay.
Yes. Okay, so Harla's asking, do your parents still eat animals and dairy and eggs? Have you tried to explain to them? And if they're still eating animals, how does it make you feel? I'll answer it while you eat first, shall I?
Yeah, mine are dead, so no.
Yeah, I've tried to, more so when I first went vegan for a long time, like, oh, watch this, you know, when I was fasting, I remember I saw like those documentaries and I was saying, oh, watch this with my parents, will you, know, like Forks Over Knives was it, and things like that, and I was, you know, really wanting to tell them a lot of stuff. Potentially I went a bit overboard and sort of turned them off to it a bit, I'm not sure. It's easy to do that with people when you care, you know, and yeah, so far they've not been interested at all. Certain family members have been more interested than others. My auntie and uncle have gone vegan, but I've had a lot of other people, you know, have not been interested, and it makes me feel sad because I worry that they will die of a terrible disease that I might feel could have been preventable or could be curable, but I'll feel powerless to do anything. And every time I think about animal suffering, then I think people I love are contributing to that, so it does make me feel very sad. I try not to let that make me just go on and on about it and turn them off to it even more. I try to just be a good example in my life and that sort of thing. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Cool. Agaja Farley is asking if we meditate.
Not as much as I want to. Very rarely lately. I go through patches. If I feel like a bit of anxiety creeping in, I'll like sort of do it. But I've sort of been getting more and more confident lately. But I feel like I have got some benefits, and if someone's being quite rude or aggressive, especially like an outreach or something, I feel like I can really step out of my ego and not just react. And
do you think regular meditation helps you to be able to use meditation like in your everyday life?
Yeah.
So like you're saying, you can step back. So it sounds like you learned that from meditation and
Yes.
you're now applying that to your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I meditate sometimes, but yeah, not as often as I'd like as well.
Helps get me over my fear of public speaking meditation with the old noting and all that malarkey. It's great stuff, yeah, I don't do enough.
Exploration Unknown is saying hey to us. Harla's asking a way to make red cabbage taste nice, taste so vinegary.
Hey, you didn't answer that question.
What's happening here? I thought we'd get a bit behind it. I didn't really think it was a sort of question specific.
We're just having a chat, my friend, and I don't know if you're vegan or not, but feel free to join in vegan related questions or whatever. Everyone's welcome. Fitness, nutrition.
Sorry, I didn't
other stuff.
say your words.
I'm sorry about her. She's a bad person.
Red cabbage tastes good. How?
Vinegary. I don't find it vinegary. Is yours like old and fermented?
Is he
It's
having?
peppery.
Is he having fermented red cabbage?
Are you having
Sauerkraut?
or something? Is that what you mean? So we just get it fresh.
I just steam it and eat it.
Steam it. I eat it raw sometimes. It's good raw on top of like cooked crucifers if you didn't have time to pre-chop the crucifers a while before you cooked them to allow enough sulforaphane to grow. What's the word I'm looking for? Today. Form.
Do you believe in free will? I'm not sure I know what that question means really.
Do you believe like you're in charge of your ways and means, or do you think we're sort of pre-programmed and at the whim of our hormones and like some people used to say that animals are sort of automatons and they just go on impulse? And
I think there's both.
if there was no free will, I wouldn't suddenly do this.
Okay.
You made me run over my selfie stick.
I think both.
That was your plan, wasn't it?
I think we do have animalistic urges, drives, like the drive to eat or have sex or like whatever. But I think.
How dare you?
Sorry, but I think we have the conscious choice to choose stuff. But I also think we've got a lot of stuff that happens subconsciously. So we might like what the reasons why we're attracted to a certain partner, for example. A lot of that is subconscious. So I don't know.
I wouldn't have done this ordinarily. Just doing it because I'm crazy. And I've got free will.
Guess he's a purple piplup.
Oh, good job I put these glasses on. It was a spit shield.
I saw somebody. right, yeah.
Who? Purple piplup?
Yes.
What do you mean somebody?
You can't say it. No, somebody wrote, I'm waits for Paul to say purple piplup. You can't say it if I say it first. It's too late. You've missed your chance.
Yeah, but then I was talking about purple piplup. What a balloon! Sometimes I react to their messages as they come up, but you don't know they've come yet.
How long do you guys think your lifespan will be if you are to die of natural causes? I find that a really hard question to answer because what does natural causes mean? We've got to die of something, right?
Yeah, so you do die of disease. Everyone dies of disease.
If they say natural causes, do they just not know what you died of? They call it old age, but they just don't really exactly realise what you died of.
I don't really know. But in a study of 40,000 centenarians, every single one of them died of disease.
Do you mean like if you're vegan?
But maybe like not like an obvious like massive heart attack or whatever.
Yeah, so it's harder to.
Anyway, so rather than not getting run over, I suppose, or electrocuted, is that more? Yeah.
Well, that would be an accident.
I guess, yeah. So if it wasn't for an accident, like how long would you? I guess that's the question.
Depends how you eat, I think.
Yeah, but I think they're saying us in particular. Your lifespans. Pay attention, woman.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. So I'm gonna live till 90 because a fortune teller told me.
Well.
If you believe in such things.
I'll live till I'm 80 then, so we die at the same time.
Sweet.
Okay.
Their fortune teller read my tarot cards, and she was bang on with. Were you there? No, I was on my. No, you were there, weren't you?
Stella? Someone else?
No. Fortune teller.
Oh.
Not a bloody hypnotist.
Clairvoyant.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's.
You were there, weren't
Stella.
you?
I'm calling her Stella. Her name's something else.
Ah.
Yeah, I was there.
What is her name?
Anna Grant.
Anna Grant. She's amazing. She's booked up for 6 months in advance if you live in the Norwich region. She did my tarot cards, and God, that was uncanny. She said that was when I started Henshaw before, and it was. She was saying how in my business I've taken a different route and I'm following my heart and it's going really well, and there's just no way. Gemma booked it. She didn't. I don't suppose you gave her my name, did you?
No, I just gave mine. They didn't ask anything. Yeah, just mine.
Yeah, so it's not like she Googled me. Well, I didn't really have a social media presence then anyway, to be fair. That was just as I was starting up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was all spot on. That was quite spooky. And then, she said she did my Lifeline, 90, boom.
Is it rude to have a "Don't eat us, you sick fuck" car sticker? We've got one on our fridge.
Don't swear.
Sorry. Cernic says hello, what's up?
Don't ever swear on there.
I don't know. Yasmin says, I personally tried intermittent fasting, and that, along with calorie restriction, led me to being on the verge of an eating disorder. I started binging and it messed with my head. Oh, somebody else made a comment about...
Are you Yasmin from Yasmin's Conscious Kitchen, by the way? If you are, thanks for the treats. I ate them all.
Yeah,
they were lovely. Video out soon.
I missed someone else's comment about, they didn't eat when they were anorexic. Sorry, I forgot to read that out. I thought I'd answer that next, but then I didn't read it out. Yeah, I worry, as well, that could be a thing. Intermittent fasting could just be quite a restrictive mentality, or could not help if somebody has a tendency to have an eating disorder. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's nice to just, as far as possible, to have a healthy view of eating, whatever that sort of means.
Whatever that means.
Barat says, what's up?
Sup?
Adam says, thoughts on fats from whole plant foods?
They're lovely, as long as they're in the whole plant food form. I don't like to go too high though, and then even there are saturates in like nuts and things. I don't go above about 17% of my calories from fats. When I write a plan for someone, I make sure they've got a minimum of 20 or 30 grams of total dietary fats, depending on if it's a woman or a man. And then from there, if there's more calories, then about 10 to 15% of calories from fats. Oh!
Sorry.
You talking?
Any ideas for cooking an easy meal? I'm super lazy.
Just steam some veggies, boil some grains or potato, get a can of legumes and whack that on there.
Yeah.
Boom. Bit of herbs and spices.
Meals don't have to be
A little bit of
complicated.
sauce if you want. The best meals aren't.
Yeah. You could just have a pot and put a load of stuff in it. Sort of make a soup / casserole sort of a type of affair. Put some stock, just like a stock cube or whatever in there. You could put some tomatoes in as a base, and you could just put some curry powder, turn it into a curry or a chilli or whatever really. One pot things are always good. Nice and easy. You could do like some pasta.
Smoothies and that.
Smoothies are great. Porridge. That's the sort of things that we mostly eat.
Talk faster. It's too much dead air.
Okay.
This is Russell Bryan's podcast. He'd throw an apple at your head by now.
Okay.
Go.
Aga Jafali says, I live in a third world country where there are not a lot of vegans. I can't find a vegan partner. Should I shoot up a fast food restaurant? What does that mean? Shoot up a fast food
Just kill everyone. No, because that wouldn't be vegan.
Maybe look for a partner online, or like date people who aren't vegan, but
With a view to converting them.
be upfront about the fact that you're vegan from the start. Be upfront about it, and tell them that it's really important to you, and just see like early on if you think that there's any leeway sort of there for them to listen to you.
Don't forget to thumb up the stream. This has been a public service announcement. I nearly said scream. Thumb up the scream.
Stephen's saying, most girls I speak to are more responsive to the stimulus than guys I speak to. Veganism? Yeah, there's a lot more vegan women than men, isn't there? So
Plant-Based News did a post saying that of all their millions of visits they have every month to their various platforms, 88% are women. Come on, woman, where are you?
well, I lost the thing. It went funny, and then I had to find it again. You don't judge my reading speed. I'll judge you in a minute. Oh no, it was back to the right place.
Lewis, what is activism, Henshi? So it's basically... Oh, why is that not plugged in? Hang on. Sorry. Just got to plug you in. Boom.
I had a really good quote for definition of activism on my laptop. If I've still got it, I'll read it out to you. It was really good. But you say some things first.
It's basically just... It's just promoting veganism, you know, just speaking up for the animals. Like, it can be wearing a t-shirt, it can be making posts, doing videos. In the street, you can do like Anonymous for the Voiceless or Earthlings events where you show footage of what happened and speak to the public, sort of trying to educate them. Anything can be activism really, but it's basically promoting veganism, you know, with a view to sort of growing it. And, you know, back in the 80s, activism was breaking into like labs and letting out all the poor animals they were testing on and whatever. But now I think a better word is probably advocacy, really. I prefer to use that word, really.
I couldn't find my quote. Just saying something about like the desire to like stand up for someone or a group or a, you know.
Yeah, and it's a bit like people used to say veganism is like a moral imperative. Now, what was the other thing I was about to say? Moral baseline. But then other people said, well, if you saw a dog getting kicked to death in the street and you could intervene, like that would be the moral baseline. So really, the moral baseline is activism, is advocacy. Yeah, and I would tend to agree with that.
James Aspie often talks about that as a way of describing it. So he says like, if someone's kicking a dog and then you walk past and hitting the dog with a stick and they say, oh, I've got another stick, do you want to join in? Veganism is saying, no, I'm not going to participate in that, and then walking off. And then if he says, do you want to join in? And then use activism. What is it? There's three, but it says activism is saying, no, not only am I not going to join in, but I'm going to actively seek to stop you from doing that. Or something. That's activism.
That's activism.
He tells it much more eloquently than me. It's something like that. I don't know.
Get him round here.
Yeah,
right.
I've sort of been on the lookout. I don't know.
Right. If anyone's out of order, we'll just ban them.
Yeah.
So I think intermittent fasting is a tool you can use to make you think that you can eat more when you're a person who wants to eat really huge portions. Interesting. Stephen, although I went vegan because one of my best brothers converted me. Nice.
Cool.
Ron Walker's in the house. What's up? Vegan power. Ron Walker, my wife to be is hesitant on being a vegan. What is her major concern?
Obstacle.
That's the word.
Yeah. It's sort of harder if you're vegan and your partner's not, but your partner does all the cooking. I'm not saying that's what it's like in your situation. It's just something that came into my mind. Like if you're the one who cooks, you know, if someone's going to cook you food every night, you're just gonna say, okay, you know, if you make the food tasty, but then, and they'll think, oh, I can't bother to make something extra, I'll just eat what you have. But yeah, if you're not the one cooking, that does make it a little bit harder, doesn't it?
Yes. You're very handsome tonight.
Why, thank you.
Karen. One of my good friends tell me I've influenced her to do veganuary. Made my day. That is very cool, Karen.
Yeah.
Well done. You deserve a fist bump for that.
It's so nice when that happens, isn't it?
Nice. Kathy likes red cabbage raw. Piplup said hi ages ago. Wait for Paul to say, are we miles behind?
Yes.
Right,
I was trying to catch up.
let's get a... what's the best way to describe a vegan diet to a family member? Send a video or an email.
Like to describe what it is?
Either way, really, isn't it? There's some good one. A real good one would be by the Vegan Activist, which will be short and succinct and sort of eloquent.
Yeah, to the point is definitely...
And he sort of explains like the reasoning. It's done a couple of videos like that of late, and they've been very short and punchy.
Yeah.
Alicia, how did Hangout come about? Well, my dad had a glint in his eye, and then and when a man and woman love each other very much...
They have a special cuddle.
Was it veganism that gave you the push to start it? Oh, do you mean like my...
Like the name of the brand, sort of?
Was it veganism that gave... Yeah, so yeah, I was vegan. I was already a PT, and then I was a vegan PT, and then I had a big pump on, and someone said, you look like a hench herbivore. And I thought, yeah, that's good, we'll have that. And then I sort of started my YouTube to help support my clients, because... You know, they're all asking, where do you get your protein? Like, what meals can I make? And so I thought I'd just put it on there. And then I didn't know that would sort of blow up. And then the rest, as they say, is history. How tall are you guys? I'm 6 foot.
5'8".
Ellen O'Driscoll. I went to a natural masseuse and she said my liver and intestines are inflamed. What should I eat? Whole plant foods and nothing else.
And then if you still have any issues, you could try doing a bit of an elimination diet. See if there's something specific you're allergic to, like nightshades or like whatever. Nightshades,
gluten, soy. But oftentimes, if you go 100% whole foods plant-based, your colonic mucosal cells get all the butyrate they need, which gives them the energy to knit together tightly, which then keeps out undigested protein fragments, which then means you may lose some of these sort of intolerances and whatnot, because they won't be getting in anymore. Oh, that is Yasmin. Thank you so much. Yeah, we gave you a glowing review, and have I edited that video? Oh, that video is up Saturday. What day is it today?
Thursday.
Thursday. Saturday, probably 6 PM. Look out. Actually, no, maybe 8 PM. I think we'll do live streams most evenings if we can. But I was worried about doing a live stream when I was doing a video, because I thought the video might not get so much velocity.
We're going to the cinema for Star Wars on Saturday. So
yeah, but what time?
4.
Yeah, so we'll be back, won't we?
Not till like 7.
7?
Or half 7.
So if we do a stream from 7 or half 7 till 8, and build up some subscribers in there, or some people, and then if I say I'm now off, if we say we're now off, but look out for that video, might get more velocity. It's really important when you first drop a video to get as many views as possible within the first hour, 2 hours, 24 hours, 48 hours. The algorithm really pushes it out. They were amazing, Yasmin. Yeah, again, thank you so much.
Yeah, my favourites were the...
I like the...
What am I trying to say? What flavour is it?
I know what you're trying to say.
The almond extract and the cherries.
Bakewell tart super spheres.
Oh, that's my favourite.
And I like the brownie thing.
Oh, they were all good.
But they were all good, yeah, in fairness. Yeah, the walnut slice. I ate them all. I had to really change my eating that day to... I shouldn't really have... Well, not that I shouldn't be eating them, but... you know, I'm on my cut, so I'm trying to have loads of low-calorie veg, so I feel full. But, yeah, I felt obliged to eat those once I'd had a nibble.
Yeah, you can't stop yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, well done you. I hope you're doing well with all that, because you deserve to. Adam, do you use salt, unrefined salt? So I'll occasionally add a little pink Himalayan to food. I use a little hot sauce and things. That is my one thing, really, which I could do a lot better, would be to cut out salt. It's not great. Why are we... Didn't we see that ages ago?
We did. Maybe they thought we didn't answer it, so maybe they're saying it again. Because we're a bit behind, aren't we? So.
Yeah. Okay, how do you look at the world from a female point of view from the kitchen window? Oh, I thought that was a question, but it was just a sexist joke.
Yeah.
Little vegan flower. Hi, lovely. I met you in Leeds, didn't I? I'm sure that's you. Nice avocados. Oh, I probably shouldn't say that in front of Gemma. Yeah, check her out on the YouTubes. Lovely, lovely lady. Shaman Jason's in the house. Soup. Met him at Ipswich. It's just full of friends now, this room. Just people I know. And Alicia. Lewis, why did you decide to make this channel? I just answered that, as you probably heard. So, you know, to help my clients. But then, like, moreover, I wanted to... activism, really. Just trying to undo... Not that you can undo the harm or the animals that I ate back in the day, but I think if I can create enough vegans that will offset the harm I did, and hopefully by the time I die I'd have caused less suffering because I lived rather than because I died, if you see how that works.
Yeah.
Please come to King's Lynn. You really want me to come to King's Lynn, don't you? I've been there for years. I have been there. I have so many vegan girls, but I still don't have a girlfriend. What's going on there? You should be swimming in them. I want to meet you in King's Lynn if not busy. What, if you're not busy, you'll come and... So you invite me out there, and then if you're not busy, you'll come and meet, like, say hello. Why I order. Oh, you and my dad are my hero. That's a nice thing to say.
That's very kind.
He's a lovely man. Oh, you didn't meet Mark, did you? Because you were at your course on the... We did the Christmas fair. Oh, Ryan, what do you think will come first? Another world war, petroleum, oil, virtually free planet, or widespread veganism? I'm going to say widespread veganism, and I'm going to concentrate on that thought, and I'm going to manifest it into my reality using hoodoo voodoo.
That's the thing that we...
And an invisible trumpet.
That's the thing that we most see happening, because that's the world we're immersed in. So
yeah.
it does feel to us like that's what's happening, so it's cool.
The Mediator, Soup. Cool name. Are you new here? Whereabouts in the world are you? I'm not sure what that's all about. Alice, you are 100 times better than that vegan Oh, don't be unkind. They're lovely. Connor Hughes. Hi guys, I like the herbivore hats. I bought a few. My girlfriend had some for Christmas. Yeah, don't forget, if you want herbivore beanies or plant-based gains t-shirts or the new warrior vest and t-shirts, there is a link in the description. Give us your money. No, but seriously, give us your money.
When you were reading that last question about that vegan couple, I just observed myself and I was really like laughing and smiling, but it was because I read the question underneath about give us your money. I wasn't smiling at that, by the way.
You better not be, because I get on well with Luca. And
they seem really nice.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to clarify that, because I thought if anyone saw me laugh, and they might. And then when I noticed I was doing it, I made another face, and then I thought, oh God, people must think something.
London vegans are in the house. Merry Christmas to you both. Love Phil and Polly.
Aww,
thanks,
Merry
guys.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thanks for joining.
Those hats are great in this weather. I wear one when I'm dog walking, and it's so nice. People look at it a lot. I see them looking at my forehead, and I think, why are they looking at me? Oh, they're reading my hat.
Yeah. Connor, loving your channel and vibes. Hats are very... Yeah, it's been... Oh, thanks, guys. Feels surreal that you're talking about my products. I'm excited for the video. Yeah, like, you know, I've been there as well. We've given our products out to different like YouTubers and things, and it seems really odd at first. You didn't get used to it, TBH, but I know how you feel when that first sort of happens. But no, that was really lovely of you. We really appreciated them.
Sorry, I keep having a tickle in my throat.
Don't you dare!
Can't help it.
Backyard Vegan. Hi guys, we follow you. Just working on our channel for 2018 to help support new vegans of your content. We're putting so much weight on as vegans. Joe and Dave. Thanks guys. Oh, good luck with your channel. So, are you aware of video creators on YouTube? They talk all about how to do YouTube good, about how to like leverage the algorithm and the importance of thumbnails and equipment and tags, like how to promote your videos. And from there you'll find loads of other channels that do similar things. And the first couple of years I didn't, how long have I been going now? 3 years? Yeah, the first couple of years I had no idea that these channels existed, and then the last year discovered them, and it's really helped my growth. So yeah, I really recommend you get onto them if you're not already. London Vegans, do you use nutritional yeast? Do you put it in most things? London Vegan Food even has it on toast. Is vegan much? Yeah, so when I'm on a bulk, I will use like a fair bit of it, to be honest, just to add calories and flavour. But on a cut, I'll tend to sort of cut it out, just so that I'm eating more sort of substantial. But yeah, it's great stuff. It's basically single-celled mushrooms. So it's like algae is to plant foods, yeast is to fungi. It's very nutritious, as you probably know, loads of B vitamins and stuff. Really boosts your immune system as well, as found out in tests with children and endurance athletes. Yeah, I tend to, when I'm using it, I use it pretty heavily. Aga, Hench, are you old enough to be my father? Most probably. I am as old as the hills now. Little vegan flower. I hope you did. Nice. Random question. Do you have a particular price for your training, Skype, etc.? Just started a new gym next to work. I have done bodybuilding before and wanted to do that still. Yeah, so I offer nutrition plans and workout plans, which I charge £30 each or £50 if someone wants both together. And then I do Skype, telephone, one-to-one like consultations, like, you know, nutrition, train, whatever people want. I basically charge £30 for an hour consultation. What was I going to say? The nutrition plan, I tend to, obviously I promote whole foods, sometimes with the judicious use of a little processed, like protein-rich foods, if that's a benefit, particularly with a larger sort of strength athlete, really, more than anything. And yeah, with the nutrition plan, rather than writing down like a week's worth of meals, which I've just pulled out of thin air, I actually work with a client, I find out all their stats, like their goal, preferences, and I basically write like a skeleton of a plan, like an outline. And it's basically, initially it's a day's worth of eating. I get the client to do that, follow that for a week. We then do a weigh-in after the loo before eating and drinking in the morning, like a week later. Then I tweak it if needs be. We do that for 2 or 3 weeks until we know the plan is right in terms of macros, calories, obviously. And then from there, I then empower the client to be able to add in whatever whole plant-based foods they want going forward. And I tell them how to tweak. You know, say they're on a cut, I explain to them how to just cut their grains down a little as the weeks go by, and just I basically empower people to be their own sort of nutritionist and sort of PT, really, in terms of, you know, like having a nutrition plan. You know, a lot of people just write out a week's worth of crappy meals. Like a lot of them don't. Someone messaged me, instant messaged me on Instagram, and they said they paid $80 Australian, whatever that is in UK money, I don't know. But it was atrocious. It basically was 7 days, and it said breakfast, and it was like, it was just nutritionally bereft. It was not bespoke to like the client. Like it's just someone's just written out this rubbishy plan and just charging like $80 a pop for it. So, but then some people don't like the way I work because I don't prescribe like set meals and stuff. They don't really like it, so that's just the way it is. It's just so much work to then like work out loads of different meals, and you got to do all the macros, and I would just rather empower people to be able to do it themselves. Adam, do you supplement D in winter? Very much so. A bit more than an average person, really. I probably do. Is that 10,000 I use those tablets? No, they're 5,000. I think I take 5,000 IU tablets, like sort of every other day. Well, 3 a week, with a day or 2 off in between. Alice, any tips on bulking up at a reasonable rate without getting fat? Well, obviously track everything and just don't overdo it, you know. It all depends really. I can't really prescribe how many calories can you get away with. Because of like previously I've been a lot bigger than this, and I was in after doing a huge long cut for like 6 months or so, and I'd lost so much weight, and I actually was putting on £1 pound a week. And staying reasonably lean, I think, but I certainly wouldn't prescribe that for most people. You know, a lot of people are lucky to get away with £1/4 pound, really, especially if they've been in the game for a while. Amy, where do you see the channel going over the next 6 months? I don't really know. Like, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, really, I think. I'm sort of quite happy with the level of growth, and no real sort of big plans. It'd be nice to do a few more athlete interviews and things, and just try a few more different videos. But I think just the daily lifestyle, like healthy eating, gym work, and I feel like that is the best use of me, just to be that living example of, you know, you can get your protein and you can be kind of like alpha or whatever that means. Yeah.
I've got this.
What do you got there?
Sweet potatoes, chickpeas, cauliflower, spinach, green beans.
What are they, like runner beans?
Yeah, these things.
What are they called? No, runner beans are sort of flat, aren't they?
And I've just put a load of dried basil on there. That's it. That's what I'm having for dinner.
Basil! Lee Stratford's in the house. How you doing? Fraser, do you think you'd be this big if you had been vegan all your life? Yeah, I think it is optimal in terms of muscle growth, especially into like middle age. So when we take in acidifying animal products, we actually pull the alkaline amino acid glutamine from our muscles. It's the most abundant amino acid in human muscle tissue. That goes into our bloodstream to buffer the acid in our blood from the animal products. So that's not good. While our testosterone's high when we're younger, it can offset the damage, but into middle age that stops. So gains slow down. Into older age we see like accelerated muscle wastage. That's what that's all about. Study out of Hong Kong recently showed that the vegans had more serum albumin, like more protein with which to make muscle, whereas the meat eaters had high levels of C-reactive protein. So which is due to endotoxins in meat, which are not destroyed by cooking. So it sets up this pro-inflammatory response. So some of the protein that they could have been building muscle with has to go into fighting this inflammation, into C-reactive protein, which is the biggest marker of systemic inflammation. So that's really not great for us. Yeah. You can get as big as you want as a vegan, and you can cut really, you can do everything. You know, animals are made out of plants, so we're just getting it secondhand, really, you know, but with a load of negatives. Yeah. Jahina Malik, she's been vegan since birth. She makes me look like a scrawny little weed. IFBB Pro. Yeah, it is superior, and it's all coming out in the Game Changers movie next month at the Sundown Film Festival.
Oh, that's exciting.
James Cameron was executive producer. Adam, have you ever fasted? Yeah, I did a week-long fast. Didn't do what I needed it to do. What I didn't understand was I was really overloading my colon, and that was the problem.
I did 33 days on water only, and I wouldn't recommend it for many people, only if you're really sick and veganism doesn't start to make you improve. You know, if you're getting sicker quicker than you're getting better, you've got some sort of health issue.
What does that mean?
Well, they said that when I was there. And I sort of took that to mean, like, you're doing all the right things, but you're still not...
You're getting more ill.
Yeah, you're still getting more... You're still declining, you're not improving.
Yeah.
Like you sort of tried everything kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like I had. Like I was vegan and I was doing all these great things, but still I wasn't where I wanted to be. I was still having backslides.
So really you just recommend it for people with serious sort of illness that they're trying to...
Yeah, I do, but, you know, I'm not an expert, but... Well, they are there, and that's what they said. The True North Health Clinic in America.
Dr. Clapper, Dr. Goldhammer, and Doug Lyle are there.
Mm-hmm.
Was Doug Lyle there? Or was in a work capacity?
He does like sort of talks.
Talks and stuff.
Mm.
Okay, your accent sounds similar to Lauren Yates. Are you from the same region? No, we're quite different actually. So I'm at southeast, and he's sort of northwest. Is he? Birmingham. Well, geography's not great, but yeah, maybe if you're not from the UK, they seem quite similar, perhaps, potentially. I'd understand that. He was my hero of bodybuilding, funnily enough. So I used to style my training on his HIIT method. And then he got into spiritualism, didn't he? Drank the old ayahuasca. Had his higher self told him the only problem in the world is ego. And watching that video, like, got me onto a spiritual path. So that was quite interesting. So I keep seeming to follow his lead. He says about where, like, unity consciousness, like, experiencing itself. And so if you have an argument with someone, you basically are having an argument with yourself. So, like, why would you bother? That's what he said he learned. Either that, or he was just off his nut on the psychedelics. Depends on your religion, really, what you believe. Direct Colan, greetings from Turkey. Hi, my friend. We love Turkey. We've been 2 times. Aludini and Overcheck.
We went to Fethiye as well.
Fethiye to visit.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you anywhere near those ones? Blackguard Vegan, we do the Cube of Truth in Coventry and Leamington. If you know anyone that would like to join us, please do a shout out, guys. It means a lot. Anyone in the stream near there, get and join them. Soralella, would you please explain to me why animal agriculture is the #1 reason for global warming? Please use easy word. Don't understand. I'm not huge on environmental. It's something I've not really studied.
What's the best documentary for that?
Sorry, Cowspiracy. If you look at on the Cowspiracy web page, there is a what is it called, info like graphic kind of thing, which probably explains it well. But you know, you've not just got the animals, but then you've got like the food they have to eat, and then the transportation of the different food and different things, or the waste, yeah. And then there's other problems like runoff, like creating ocean dead zones and stuff as well. But yeah, look on the Cowspiracy website or check the documentary. I'm not great on that. I look at Earthling Ed and I see how eloquently and brilliantly he connects with people and speaks to the ethics, and there's just so many people, Melanie Joy talking of psychology, and there's so many people doing so many amazing things. Like, I really want to learn how to do that really well. I want to learn how to do that really well. But no, I think the best use of me is to, I want to know a bit of it. I am interested, but the more and more I can learn about nutrition and disease prevention and reversal, I think that is, and sports performance, you know.
That's your thing,
I think
isn't
that's
it?
my niche. Play to your strengths. And then just put people onto the other people who you rate for the other things. So, yeah, that would be my advice there. Alicia, nope. Direct colon, rice gum, question mark. I don't know what that is. What is that? Good question. Backyard vegan. Thanks. Oh, is it okay to eat rice and gum? Chewing gum? Do you mean? So rice, we now know, has a real high affinity to arsenic, and it's often planted in places where arsenic-based pesticides were used. So 3 servings of whole grains a day typically lowers our overall cancer risk by 10%. If we eat those servings as rice, there is no benefit to our cancer risk, which means like there must have, well, most probably been a 10% detriment, if you see what I mean. So the fact that you're having a whole grain is sort of offsetting that over baseline, but we could have eaten something better.
Chewing gum's not good for our health, is it? Doesn't it make your body think that food's coming, like your stomach?
Yeah.
I did hear something interesting though in terms of like anxiety, like psychology. Apparently, if you chew gum, it helps your brain to like relax, because when you're eating, that helps you to be in a more relaxed, less anxious like state or something. You release like dopamine and chemicals and things when you eat as well, don't you? So I don't know if I think to that, but yeah, apparently it helps anxiety if you chew gum. But then gum chewing might not be good for your health in other ways. I'm not really sure about that.
Yes. Do you get flu shots or prevent flu with diet? Diet. Really get a fraction of the illness I used to get as an omnivore. Amy, how would you devise a nutrition plan for someone who can't weigh themselves weekly for mental health reasons? That's a tough one, isn't it? I just tell them, like, well, especially if they've got a target, I say, well, it's just hit and miss whether, you know, you get it right. I'll prescribe the healthy foods. But yeah, if you're not doing things, if you've got a goal and you're not doing what you need to do to hit that goal, it's very unlikely that you'll hit the right amount. And you need to change as you put on mass or as you lean out, and yeah, it's hard. If someone wanted to lose weight, well, I would just sort of prescribe them a whole foods diet, leaning towards, you know, the lower calorie veg and things. So that's not so bad. In terms of muscle gaining, that makes it really hard. I guess for an average Joe who didn't have like goals as such, I would probably, well, I'd either prescribe like the average like RDA of calories and this, work out a nutritionally sound plan based on that, or perhaps I'd use the Harris Benedict formula, but work out their basal metabolic rate, what it should be based on their age, sex, weight and height, and then yeah, just prescribe it from there, really. Taylor, what are you doing as far as food for the holiday? I have to go to my in-laws who are far from vegan, so I'm trying to decide what apps and dinner food I should bring. Good question. We'll just make our own food, really.
The only part of the Christmas dinner that's not vegan is the animal part. Like the rest, all the vegetables are, you know, usually okay, aren't they? People have loads of veggies. And
watch out for honey on parsnips.
Yeah. So you could just take something as your main part and have all the vegetables and things.
Yeah, I would just bring a nut roast or whatever and just get the veggies and maybe bring your own gravy if you want.
Yeah, some sort of roast. People tend to buy things like tofurkeys and things this time of year, don't they? If they want something they don't have to make.
We're not a fan for their health reasons.
Yeah.
I think that's that one. How How tall are we? We answered that earlier, but we're 6 foot and 5 foot. Hey, I know something. Alan, any plans to come to Ireland? Not as of yet, but if VegFest wanna fly us over there or whatever, we'd be up for that. Victory Leo, is the product Bragg's nutritional yeast okay to use? I would imagine so. I don't know that particular brand of yeast, but I know they do like the liquid aminos and stuff, don't they? I imagine they're quite a good brand. Yeah, any nutritional yeast is probably fine, I would have thought. Thomas Boxing Reed, you are good, man. Thanks. You're very kind. Adam's eating Chilean nachos. Nice. Robert D. Oh, Bob's in the house. How are you, Bob? Kim's in the house. I'm not sure what Kim's saying there. Take care of that mamacita. So you yell. Me, she's eating tofu. Vegetables. Kim, meat is clogging my arteries. Probably. Chickpea Sunny, how would you define spirituality? Good question. You go.
I define it as like the sort of belief that there's more to life than what you can just see and hear and touch and smell, and the belief that there's like more. That's kind of what it means to me.
Yeah, like that we are like spirits having a human experience rather than vice versa. If you see what I mean.
Sort of believing like there's more to life when you die,
and to me it's like living in line with your higher self, like without all their programming, and you know, most people would not harm an animal like if they could help it, yet we've been indoctrinated to think it's okay, you know, but we wouldn't physically do it ourselves, so like we shouldn't pay someone else to do it, and then they have to get potentially PTSD and stuff, like, so that's not kind to humans and animals. Yeah, I think it's to do with consciousness and being like aware, self-aware, and trying to expand yourself, which I think is the reason that we're here in the first place.
It means different things to different people, doesn't it, spirituality?
Yeah. Yeah, very much so. What do you guys say? There's been some silly people in here. They're gone now. Well, it's mostly trolls. Robert's great. Yeah, really good, thank you. Yeah, thriving. Had some great little things lately with sort of people all paying me to do videos, you know, My Protein, and then getting loads of free gym equipment from bulk powders, loads of public speaking. Yeah, and I'm in 3 films. 3 films, one for Channel 4, which is the UK channel, and that is going onto their, what's it called? It's going onto their interwebs, and it's been nominated, it's going into some film festival, and that was the one where I played a bouncer, and then the Game Changers is out next month, the old sports performance one, and a movie called Make the Connection, about the rise of veganism in the UK and how social media has driven that. Had a part to play in that, and that may go straight to Netflix is what they're hoping, so that'll be cool. So yeah, everything's going nice, really. What have you been up to, my friend from across the pond? And Celtic Vikings here as well.
Hey.
Yeah, we're good. How are you, Celtic Viking? Nice to have you back. Olivian, do you miss me? Not a little bit. No, I had to eat so much as a bodybuilder, and then when I found out that I didn't need to eat it anymore, I was really pleased. Yeah.
We would like buy like loads of cans of something like tuna, you know, at the supermarket when it was on offer, and you'd see the checkout of the conveyor belt would just be full of like tuna, and you know the checkout person would laugh and say, "Oh, you must really like tuna," and then Paul would say, "Nah, I effing hate it." And she'd be like, "What?" You just ate what you thought you had to eat, didn't you?
Yeah. So there was a bit of a reaction just now where someone was asking about if we eat meat, and then a vegan sort of reacting to that in a sort of bad way, but it looks like it was a genuine question, and it is such a emotive subject that this sort of thing can happen. I'm glad you two haven't like fallen out, and it is easy to take people wrong and think that people are being unkind.
Especially
because
in a written
sometimes we can, yeah, and then in the written form you never know what tone it's meant in. But I forget what was it in saying just before that.
You're glad that they sorted that out and were something.
Oh, I think we're up to date.
Cool.
That's good.
Lab grown meat's a funny one, isn't it? Like,
oh, I missed one.
Sometimes an animal had to suffer initially.
Yeah, so if it's from stem cells, like that's technically not vegan, but people have reverse engineered meat from plants now, haven't they?
Yeah.
So
but some people still like the taste of meat, even when they go vegan. So if more people will go vegan because they get to eat something that tastes just like meat, I can't see how that can sort of be a bad thing, really. I feel like I think you might have said this before, or someone else. Like, let's get the whole world vegan first, and then, you know, let's worry about other things, like maybe thinking...
Like when people tell me, like, I'm not vegan because I eat more food than I need to. And my argument is when all of gyms are like vegan, then I'll look at my eating.
And not everyone's going to go whole foods plant-based. So, well, let's just get them vegan by any means possible, so the animals aren't suffering. And then let's look at, how can we be healthier, you know, as a species.
Yeah. Celtic Vikings got some interesting perspectives on spiritualisms. Olivian, why did you become vegan? Because you don't like the way animals are farmed or taste? Neither. For health, I saw that the more animal products we eat, the quicker we're going to get heart disease, cancer, diabetes. In the poorer countries where they can't afford meat and dairy, there is a fraction of the what we call diseases of affluence. In some like rural Chinese villages, a lot of these diseases are actually unheard of, and like rural like Africa and places where they just eat plant-based. So initially for health, but then I saw what we're doing to animals, and like I wouldn't want to hurt an animal, so I saw that I didn't want to give my money to people who hurt animals. And then you look at the environment, it's the #1 cause of most of the environmental destruction that will be taking us down sooner or later if we don't all soon change. So, yeah, for every reason, really. Yeah, I agree. We should get some mods.
What's mods?
Moderators.
Moderators.
When you designate a moderator, does that just last for that stream, or is that like ongoing?
Don't know.
But favourite bums are right. Yeah, we'll probably sign off shortly, but yeah, going forwards, I do want to get a moderator or two. I've been thinking about that. Amy, how do you tackle fellow vegans who are happy, proud of the fact that they'll cook for and cater to non-vegans? Well, I feel like they're not vegan, really.
So, like, something hasn't quite clicked for them yet, like the ethical side, like...
Proud of the fact. I don't know anyone like that. That seems mental.
I knew of someone who said he would buy, like, gifts for people, like he'd buy them a leather belt or something if that's what they wanted as a gift, you know, and I thought that was a bit strange.
It amazes me when people are vegan, but then they say they don't want to upset their nan or something, so they'll just eat like meat. And I think, wow, you don't want to cause a minor bit of emotional suffering to this animal, this human animal, but you're willing to cause unspeakable like suffering to these like animals. You've really not got. You just don't understand what veganism is, basically. Well, and really, what they're saying is they don't want to suffer, because they would suffer to have to tell their nan, no, I don't eat that anymore. Isn't it? So I think that that's a little bit weak, really.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but here I go again, being able to see every side.
Here I go, yo.
I sort of can always see everybody's point of view, and I get on my own nerves of it sometimes, really. I can see that somebody in that position, they're just in a place where like they don't have the ability to put their own values and beliefs and things first. They put other people first.
So do they lack self-esteem?
Yeah, and what other people think of them, or if they're making them happy, is like the most important thing. Or they're not able to just not worry about that, to just live in line with their beliefs at some certain time. So it'll be to do with like how they were like raised, or like different things. So for some people, like they just can't help it. That's where they're at. Like they can't say, oh, to someone, I don't care what you say, I'm gonna do what is right for me. Like they're just not at that place. So they need help with like confidence and that sort of thing first. Like I'm not saying that that's right. That was just me sort of understanding.
Playing devil's advocado.
Sort of understanding where someone like that might be at. So what that person needs is help with something else before they can have help with the veganism. They need help with their own stuff.
Yeah. You're good.
But as a vegan, I think it's important.
You don't have to put your hand up. It's not like class.
I think it's good if we can start to look at perspectives, and it's really hard to see the perspective of someone who we think's like causing great harm to like animals. But if we can see their perspective, we can see how we can help them, and then they can be vegan sooner. But if we just think, oh, you shouldn't be that way, like you're weak and you should, live in line with your beliefs. If we got that attitude to them, then we're not helping them with where they actually are. We're refusing to meet them at that place where they are. We're just saying they shouldn't be there, and then they can't progress forward. They need help from that sort of... Does that make sense?
You're a good words one.
Okay.
Well done, I like that. Oh, mod stays with every stream, so I really need to be sure that
Well, you could take them off again. It's not like
but then you feel like cruel. But like, there's been people before who like I've thought were cool, and then like they've taken someone wrong and then got really rude and aggressive, and do you know what I mean? I want to be sure that, and like, so you really, you ideally you want to do it yourself, don't you? Because Would
you like me to have another computer and be at the bottom at all times?
Yeah, that might be a good idea.
If you make me a moderator, so you answer the questions, and I'll be at the bottom of the stream, and I can see what's current, and I can ban people straight away.
I would like to make people a mod, because it probably makes them feel nice, doesn't it? But I just don't want it to go sour, and then they feel hurt if I feel like I don't want them to do it.
Yeah, see what you're saying.
To feel my pain. But yeah, your idea would work, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, I might not always be on the stream with you, so you could do with someone else as well. But if you just had one person, they might not be there at all times as well, so a couple of people, I don't know.
Allevian, people at school always tease me for being vegan and call me weak and mean names. It's hard to stay vegan in my community. Oh, bless you. Whereabouts are you? That sounds hard.
Yeah.
Mods can delete comments. If a mod is there, be it stop them from being the mod. Oh no, it's just jumped like crazy again. Amy, on the one hand, if you don't want to aggravate other people, technically an ally, but on the other hand, I agree it's not vegan in an ethical manner.
Yeah, so some people go vegan for environmental reasons. Like they just are concerned about, oh, it's harming the environment. And some people, they might go vegan and still have the attitude like, oh, well, everyone can do what they want, I'll just do what I want and you will So I don't know, people can be at different places. Not everyone who's vegan is going to have the same mentality. You're going to be at the same place. We're all at different places, aren't we? So
yeah. Jesse, do you watch football? No, I don't really. I'm not a fan, but I don't really spend a lot of time. We'll watch like half an hour or an hour of TV now and again, like Netflix, so we don't get too many ads and stuff. Like a bit of Rick and Morty or
something light-hearted and sort of fun and
yeah, nothing too like negative or sort of aggressive, except for Vikings, which I watch on occasion. I channel that when I'm in the gym. I unleash my inner Viking. Alluvian, good vegan protein supplements. So there's hundreds now. The one I really favour, Body Me, there's a link in the description to the video. Give it your way. That's good because it's got when I look for a supplement, ordinarily I advocate whole plant foods. Nothing good taken out, nothing bad added. When I look for a supplement, something good has been taken out, you've lost some nutrition. But at least I look for one with nothing added. So I like the Body Me one. It's got no additives. It's actually organic as well. So it's a little bit more expensive than a non-organic protein. So if you don't want to go to that expense, you know, you can use like a bulk powders and My Protein. Pulsing are particularly good. You know, there's a few now. If you want taste, then something like Vivo Life, Reflex, you know, but they have got additives that won't be great for our health. Sun Warrior's a good in-between one, you know, little additives, but mostly quite natural. But get the one from Body Me and give it your money. Yeah. Stephen Rubery saying just get jacked and then no one will talk smack about veganism. Yeah, that's my plan as well.
I just had a thought. I'd put my hand up again.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, we've done quite a lot of these live streams now, and you've put them all on Patreon for patrons to watch. And do you think, like, you know, we get quite a lot of samey questions. So would you like to soon do a live stream where we focus on something specific?
Yeah.
It's different instead of just being any.
Oh, we could do a poll. We could do a poll now
okay.
with a community tab.
Yeah.
What would you like to do a stream about?
Yeah, so we'd have to think of a few ideas and they pick.
Yeah.
Comment there, wherever it is, if you've got any ideas of a specific sort of stream that you'd like, focusing on, I don't know, a specific topic or whatever. We're open to everything.
Jeffrey Patchman. If you have a client who is not ready to go vegan, how do you prescribe their nutrition plan? I would just tell them the macros, and then like it's up to them, innit? But I tell them like that animal foods will hurt them, and then whole plant foods will promote their health. So try to get more of them in. Basically, everyone's bigging you up for your
some sort of words I said at some point. Oh, thank you.
Prince Fancy Bum. Hire Paul to walk around behind you flexing and traps. Goddamn cobra traps. I don't think I made a fuss of Prince Fancy Bum when he came in.
You did.
What
he said his he said your favourite bum is here or something.
I thought I started reading it, but then I got distracted. Anyway, Prince Fancy Bum.
Rick and Morty is so good. I just noticed someone had written that in capitals because it's so important. It is important.
Yeah. It's as important as Szechuan dipping sauce, Morty. 9 more seasons.
It's all about that
Szechuan sauce. And if you tell anyone, they won't believe you because you're a little piece of boop and I'm the champion around here. And I'll kill you and I'll get another Morty from another dimension. Purple Piplup wants to be a... Do you know, I've never seen Purple Piplup say anything unkind or anything I wouldn't agree with. Or I think she would be a great mod. Boom! You're in.
Oh. Snazzy.
Amy would happily moderate, but I couldn't be around for... Do you know? And Amy as well. I'm just going to have 2 mods for now, and it is going to be you 2, because I think that you would not unhappy me.
Oh. But don't feel bad if you can't be here. Don't worry.
Yeah, don't feel obliged.
Yeah.
Celtic Viking mod, only people you trust. Yeah, and it's not. Yeah, and it's not even just about that. Just sometimes, you know, people can react, and like maybe that thing wasn't meant in that way, and then like it can, and then maybe they banned someone who I didn't want banned, and then I've got to like like not argue, but I just don't want the grief. I just want everyone to get on and to be smooth.
What I tend to do is like I give someone a couple of chances. Like if I think like earlier when I thought somebody was commenting things like that they talk about like what about fruits being phallic or yesterday, I can't remember. And I just thought, oh, is this person like trolling and are they good?
I like to give them the benefit for a minute.
Yeah, so I thought I'll leave them for a while, and just if then they say something that's really like out of order, then you know I'll sort of ban them. It's hard to know because some people are just genuinely trying to have a laugh, and they have a different sense of humour, and it can be hard to know, can't it?
Yeah. Sometimes
if you ban someone, they can then come back and be really annoyed and be like, "Oh, why did you ban me? I wasn't doing anything." Or
Jason Raybuck, Zim my own mod. Why not? Olivia, I'm from South Africa. People here love meat and animal products, which is fine. I don't mind when they try to force it on me. It's not cool. Yeah, that's not cool. Jason, before I say something, I think would an idiot say that? If they would, then I don't say it. Money. Oh my God, Rick and Morty is so cool. So good. I'm so happy you guys enjoy that silly show. Yeah, we're on our 3rd time round. Is there another season soon? I'm getting there. Something. Stephen Rubery. Sorry. I meant to just think that. Any easy recipe ideas? Did we answer this already, or has this come up again?
Smoothies or porridge.
Yeah.
Lunch.
Or just a load of fruit.
Yeah, loads of fruit. Lunch, we tend to just steam a grain, vegetables, and a legume, and put a bit of like hot sauce on it, or some nooch, or both. And then at night, I tend to do a lot of one-pot meals, so I'll get a big pot, put loads of veggies and legumes and potatoes and things in it, and I'll make a I'll make a soup or a stew or casserole, put stock in and some herbs. Just chuck in whatever you've got, really.
Chips and potatoes or sweet potatoes, and then steam them for a bit, and then bake them, or just bake them.
Yeah, I get potatoes, I chop them, I make them into potato rounds, bake them, and then I chuck a can of legumes in a blender, a bit of tahini, lemon, garlic, whiz it up, and it's a dip, and I have that with the chips. And I get a bag of green leaves and just put a handful on the plate with it. And I just have that, like, if I want an easy meal. It's so quick. We have that a lot of nights, don't we?
Yarp. Amy, also perhaps a perma video of commonly asked live stream questions.
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
You could put that on for Patreons as well. Maybe, or... that's a good idea.
See, Oliver, I just made pesto pasta with chickpeas and homemade kimchi. Yummy and easy. What is kimchi exactly? That's some sort of fermented...
Yeah.
I've never had that, I don't think. Have I?
I don't think so.
Jesse, we need more people like you and Patrick Baboumian to masculinise veganism. Yeah, I thought I've really seen as a sort of gap in the market, so I am trying to obviously fill that. And he's got a cool book coming out all about that malarkey at some point. Amelia's in the house. Hey, lovely, how are you? Chickpea Sani, would you do a live stream collab chat with Vegan Geezer? Chat like with Vegan Geezer. Yeah, it's been on the cards for a while, really. In fact, we did do one round Rebs one night, didn't we?
Yeah, you did.
But we never... Yeah, maybe we'll... Are they coming over anytime soon? Are they coming for the Christmas market thing?
No, they're in America, aren't they?
At the minute, they are, yeah. How long are they there for?
Yeah, a while, I think. A few weeks, is it? Or...
I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I'll make that happen at some point. He's a lovely guy, isn't he?
Yeah. when we've got our own place in the new year, then, you know, if people
Yeah,
like
we'll have
those
people
guys
over.
or anyone else that want to come and stay, like, then can stay for a while, and we'll do streams and videos and stuff. That'll be great.
Any other Norwich YouTubers you like to see in a streams? I mean, any Norwich YouTubers you like to see in a stream?
We don't have many Norwich YouTubers anymore, do we?
There's a few. Or anyone fairly local, London, or... Yeah, anyone from London. Well, anywhere really, we could put up.
Not so easily now, but soon. We can put people up.
Zach Pritchett, how do you get over having to eat loads more when you go vegan because of the reduced calories? Well, I mean, you can eat calorically dense foods, but more junkier and then higher fat. But to eat a healthful vegan diet, just you... Basically, if you're not eating whole foods vegan, our stomachs are shrunk, basically. And then, so slowly over time, you eat a little more, and they expand to like the proper size in order to handle it. And then it's more, you know, but you can still eat more calorically dense. I always use this example, like a medjool date and an apple are a similar amount of calories, but look at the size difference, you know. So dried tropical fruits, grains, legumes, nuts, seeds. And not so much. Obviously, you need to get your greens in, your minimum of vegetables, but, you know, don't eat mountains of, like, salads, like that, over and above your sort of basic needs.
Well, I've just remembered that I asked about what particular types of streams would you like, and then the suggestion of one with frequently asked questions. That was probably about that, wasn't it? I've just clicked. I said that ages ago and then I forgot. Yeah. Mr.
Hench, did you get me email? Not unless you've sent it in the last hour or two, I'm afraid. Some of them seem to go missing for some reason. Can you try again if that's the case? Sorry about that. Rob Reed, could you do a video on missing vegan nutrients, iodine, selenium and other minerals? Really, like, you know, iodine from seaweed. Other than that, if you're eating whole foods, you'll be getting more of most nutrients, more than an omnivorous eater. Obviously B12 and D3, which I've done a video on. Yeah, I don't feel that there's a need, Rob. I just promote the whole foods. I promote getting your legumes, your whole grain, your veggies, emphasise the greens, your fruits, nut seeds, flax seeds particularly, herb spices and herbal teas. And yeah, like on average, vegetables have 16 times the nutrients versus meat. So if people are not worrying about missing nutrients on a meat-based diet, which, by the way, there are like 7 shortfall nutrients that people are missing out. Average omnivores, fibre, vitamins A, C and E, potassium, magnesium, calcium, believe it or not. Oh, folate as well. Purple Piplup said, "Ah, thanks." And Amy said, "Oh, well. Oh, you're very welcome." Yes, the fancy trumpet on basking in happiness. Good. And rightly so, Prince Fancy Bum. You're a lovely figure of a rump. Oh, Amy's blushing. She's nice.
Yes, we could put people on a timeout before banning them. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Depends how naughty they've been.
Yeah.
How excusable.
I have the power.
I thought you were going into like a Russell Brand type of a rant.
Yes, Majesty. I would get the emery cloth. Can you do this one? I've got to take my socks off.
The emery cloth.
Emery boy and across the buttocks. Fast at first and then slower, more slowly, revealing little chambers, and in the chambers are an embryo and a larvae. Oh, Majesty.
Okay, I don't want to smell them.
You normally do.
No, don't tell people that.
I've got 3 pairs of socks on. Hang on.
Jesse says, what do you think of fine oats / ready oats? I eat ready oats because it's fortified with calcium and B vitamins, plus it's super quick to cook.
Normally, like, they're a bit too processed, and then you absorb more through your small intestine into your body, and leaving not so much for your bacteria in your colon, which you need in order to thrive. So I'm not a fan of those type of oats. And then when we have added nutrients in isolation, they tend to do more harm than good, believe it or not. And again, we'll, you know, if we're eating our produce, we'll be getting our calcium and stuff. And when we have like isolated things, often you can have calcification of the organs, and like high dose vitamin C, people have been shown to have more DNA damage over like the control group that had nothing. Yeah, I'm not a fan of added vitamins and minerals, except for B12, D3.
So kimchi is fermented cabbage.
Yeah.
The steamed potato chips and dip sound good. Is there a recipe video? We've got a chips recipe video, I think.
Yeah, fat-free. I think it's called fat-free healthy chips. It was one of the first videos we did. I probably look like a wooden buffoon.
We used to steam them back then first, but now I just can't be bothered. I just bake them without even steaming them first. We've got some dips, haven't we? Have we got a hummus dip?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I think there might be a spicy Mexican bean dip or something.
We make all different dips.
Have a look in the recipes playlist on this channel. Like, they'll all be in there.
I just thought of a great idea. We could do a video or a video series where we do like Whole Foods day of recipes, like what to eat for a whole day.
Yeah. So
like we could show like a different smoothie in the morning, a lunch, and then a night time. So show 3 meals in one video.
Well, that sounds like my day of eating videos.
Yes, true.
Which there are hundreds of.
Yeah.
Yeah, check out my What I Eat in a Day /vlogs playlist.
That's true. But maybe if it was called that, what I just said, more like maybe it would target a specific audience who'd be looking for what do I eat in a day of Whole Foods.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Leonie, what's the best thing about going vegan? Good question.
Oh.
I'm going to say just living in line with your core values, like your true self, unless you happen to be a psychopath.
Yeah, feeling like at every meal you're not causing any harm or suffering, and also like the health benefits can't be downplayed as. And
also knowing that you're the best.
And I genuinely do enjoy what I eat these days.
Yeah.
A lot. I really enjoy plain, simple, like meals, like as well. Not even just, you know, fancy like things. I don't think I enjoyed my food so much before. Like I never really liked the taste of dead animals, but I don't know. I just thought I was supposed to eat it, so I just would force it in. And sometimes I'd think, oh, I don't like this specific brand of like chickens or whatever, and I think, oh, I just don't like it like that. I'd try a different sort, like whatever, but I just didn't like it. I just was kidding myself, thinking, oh, this one is a bit too something-y, or like whatever. I just didn't like it.
You were living in Kidderminster.
Yes.
Laugh at my jokes more.
Okay.
Jesse, do you know Clarence Kennedy? Yeah, he actually came to my gym. I missed him. I was off sick, and I missed him. Cool powerlifting vegan from Ireland. So he is actually a weightlifter. So he does like the Olympic lifts. Is what you would sort of class him as. World's strongest vegan. So he may be like potentially. What are you laughing at?
I've got funny, don't worry about it.
So I wouldn't. How do you quantify like who's strongest? I mean, there's so many different lifts and disciplines. Gemma's turned into an imbecile.
I'm not laughing at you. Don't worry about it.
Why are you laughing? I'm sorry about this, people. This doesn't happen on Russell Brand's podcast. You're ruining it. You're ruining it. You're ruining moving in day.
Don't do it to me. You'll make it worse.
Now you've made me jump the gun.
I made you.
Yes. Can you stop being an idiot now?
I'm trying. Just don't give me any attention.
I've lost where I was. Oh, I missed Connor's question. I'll come back to that question that I've forgotten what it is because Gemma's laughing like an idiot. Connor, any tips for new personal fitness trainer? Get on the old social media. Get a big social media presence. And get like a mental girlfriend who can't stop laughing. Any tips for a personal trainer? What would you say?
Well, what about being one?
Any tips?
I don't know how to be one.
Look the business. Like your physique is your business card. That's one thing. And it helps to be really good at connecting with people and building rapport. So like sort of self-confidence and being passionate. Passion is huge. So people will become infected. Like if you're really excited about what you're talking about. Time out needed for Gemma. It's hard for me to answer this question because I've got a mental case in the background. Jesus Christ. What happened? Right, I can't work like this. Let's film you and just see what's...
No, don't.
Video. I'll put this up on my social medias.
No, don't.
There you go.
Don't hassle me.
Gemma, what's happened?
Just don't.
Why are you mental?
Well, sometimes I am.
Yeah. Have you done it?
I don't know.
Have you got all the sillies out?
I'm not sure.
This is going on Facebook.
You put it on YouTube the last time I did it.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Well, don't.
Well, don't keep doing it then.
Well, I can't help it.
Have you done it?
I don't know.
That's enough now. Come on, everyone's waiting for us.
Okay.
Just try.
Okay.
Hashtag bipolar. Any tips for a new trainer? What else can I say? Yeah, I think I've said all the pertinent things really. Yeah, but I've found for me like our social media thing has been a real boon. Right, where was I? Right, kimchi. Steam that. Have you finished, madam?
Oh, I don't know. I hope so.
What happened?
I just found something funny.
What was it?
I can't say.
Oh, strongest vegan. So yeah, like there's so many different disciplines and lifts, and like you couldn't really say who's the strongest. I mean, Patrick Baboumian certainly has got the strongest yoke walk in the world, 555 kilos over 10 meters. But Clarence Kennedy is a phenomenon, and he's only about 23 or something. He's really young, so he will do amazing things.
Sometimes something just tickles me. It wasn't anything. It was just a previous thing, and I just get a real laughing fit, and I can't fight it. I just have to let it out, and then I'm back to some sort of normality again. So
Whatever that is.
So excuse that.
Thoughts on vegan gains again. We get this normally
every time.
A couple of times this stream. So, you know, it's not everyone's cup of tea. It's not the way I operate, but some people need to be shocked into veganism, you know, if the old softly, nicely is not working. And if he's thick-skinned enough to do that, like, then sort of good on him, really. You know, does he turn off some people? Like, maybe. But then if people are going to base their opinion on a whole ethos, on the actions of one person, then, you know, I say the problem is with them and not with him. Yeah, and he did a video promoting our stock. So, from my perspective, he's a lovely guy. A lovely guy. You're welcome, Zach. Most kimchi I've seen has fish sauce or anchovies in it. Chickpea Sunny, the Phlegm Face would be a good collab. Invite onto the. Who is that? I've not heard of them. Have you heard of the Phlegm Face?
I have not.
I don't know. She lays there laughing for an hour and then she just sods off. Terrible. Where? Oh, sorry, I've lost the stream again. Ah, where are we? There we are. Therefore, a divisive figure. Hang on a second. Boom. God damn, I'll call you tomorrow. What's the best time to call? I don't know. I'm quite busy with clients and things. Just try me, really, and just try your luck.
I just needed a toilet. I can't help that, can I?
What did you have? A number 1 or a number 2?
None of your business.
I'm not interested then. Vegan gains is like Marmite. Yeah, good. Good way to put it. Jesse, since going vegan, I have to poo 3 to 4 times a day, or 3/4 of a time a day. It's very inconvenient. I feel, well, more inconvenient would be colon cancer. That if you didn't poop after each meal. That's all I can say. Blizzard Wizard, hi, I'm new here. How are you doing? We're really good. How are you? Whereabouts are you in the world? What are you up to? Are you a vegan wizard, or are you vegan curious, or are you none of the above? I'm interested. Prince Fancy Bum, for me, the biggest problem is mainlining nutritional yeast in. Steven, start taking those sups. Very good. Prince Fancy Bum, video's all gone wonky for me. Is there a problem with the stream, or is my phone broke? I think it's your phone. Connor, is it really proven that vitamins in pill form are bioavailable? It varies on the sort of brand. And again, they tend to do more harm than good, a lot of them. Really, we need food in the whole foods form with all the other nutrients that comes with it. So we need nutrients in the whole foods form. And not only do we need to not isolate nutrients, but actually we find when we put a sweet potato with an onion, with, you know, some fruit in the same meal, with some greens, with a nut, you actually get more sort of cancer fighting potential, more antioxidants. The whole is greater than the sum of the parts. It's called food synergy. So actually we need to go the other way.
Chopper's playing with his toy.
Where is he?
He's down there.
Get him up there with it.
Do people want to see him playing with his toy?
Do you want to see Cowboy?
Oops.
Well, you're seeing it. I mean him. I mean her.
Cowboy.
Is he doing it? Let me get involved. Oh, I've just put water everywhere. Well, this isn't working, is it?
Now she's interested in you. Sometimes we squirt the pool with catnip, this catnip spray that we've got, and they just go nuts for it.
Right, this isn't happening. Back to the drawing board.
Okay. Oh, I thought that would be nice for you to see,
Go back.
but apparently not.
Sorry, everyone. Never work with children or animals. Hey, while we're having this small intermission, why not thumb up the screen? Stream! Why do I keep saying screen or scream when I want to say stream?
I do not know.
Put this nearer.
Hear me coughing now.
Boom. Stephen, my flatmate, had a deep chat with me like a week ago and she's going vegan. Yes!
Yeah.
Been trying to run back to normal, panic over, but she might do it again in a minute. Wizard. Do you think dihydrogen monoxide should be banned? I don't think I know what that is, do I? 2 hydrogen molecules and then, what is it? Monoxide? I don't like the sound of it, so I'm going to say yes. But I better just see what it is. I think any chemicals pretty much should be banned, really.
They're playing with that toy now. No, we're not looking.
What is it? Colour sideless chemical. Highly reactive. Hydroxyl radical. Hydroxyl radicals are some of the worst. Incidentally, that's what heme iron causes to happen in our bodies, which is why one mechanism by which we think meats contribute to cancer. Please is known to mutate DNA, denature proteins, disrupt cell membranes. Yeah, I think that should. What does that go in then? It's in water. Yeah. Yeah, that's horrible. Hydroxyl radicals are about the worst free radical there are, in my understanding. As a psychopath, I find this offensive. Sorry, don't kill me. Please don't kill me. Amy, I've got 7 people considering veganuary now. How are you doing that? I feel like you should be setting up some sort of a boot camp to train others.
Is Cowboy playing with their toy?
Did your gym have enough plates for his mighty squat? I'm not sure what he did. I remember seeing a video of him setting up for a bench press, and he actually like flipped over the bar, and he reckons that that's the best way to set up. Not knowing anything about sort of powerlifting, pressing, I couldn't really tell you.
I'm funny.
No, you're not.
I'm funny.
You're stupid.
Cowboy was watching me when I was laughing. I saw her at the corner of my eye. She was really looking at me.
She was really listening. Don't impress the kitty. Do it again, Gemma. Don't tell her that, for God's sake.
Oh, I can't force it. It just comes. I can't force it, and I can't stop it when it does come. It's just one of those things.
Amy, I have the sweetest trainer. I've got my first chin up nailed. Nice. Connor, I met Patrick at VegFest. He's awesome, went vegan for the animals. Yeah, he's a good guy. Oh, it's good to see a happy animal. I couldn't agree more.
Oh, it's getting really late, just FYI.
Oh, yeah. We said we were only going to do an hour. It's 30
hours.
seconds to 2 hours. Yeah. Alright, let's just catch up. dank memes in the house. Not seen you for a while. Which is stance on soy and estrogen. It's total BS. Democardia. Can I move in with you guys? Things are getting out of hand. You can certainly stay for a weekend or something, Hemocardia, when we got a new place. Yeah, people say, oh, like soy, like phytoestrogens, and then my argument is, well, phytoestrogen does nothing like in humans. It basically fits the receptor but doesn't activate it, whereas mammalian estrogen, like we are mammals, and then something like 70% of cows are pregnant when they're milking them, so their estrogen is through the roof. So if you don't want estrogen, stop drinking that titty milk. New Hopes in the house, yeah, we're really good. And oh, but why is there soy treatment to increase estrogen for women? I don't know, but that wouldn't clinically do anything. Some hormones are can be made out of, like testosterone can be made out of yams, I think, but it doesn't mean that the yam would give you a testosterone effect. So is that what that is? I don't know, but I know it doesn't. No, that's not right. I'll look into that a little bit just out of interest because I've not heard of it, but that's not a thing. If not, there's so many bodybuilders smashing in the soy. Patrick Baboumian being one of them, you know, and his boobs aren't boobylicious. No more than they should be. Right, we're going to shoot off now because we were on for twice as long as we meant to be. But we love talking to you guys so much. If you're new here and you want to find out all about how to have the healthiest, fittest body while not harming animals or hurting the environment, hit the subscribe button. Click the bell icon so you're notified of new videos and live streams as they come about.
And thanks for joining us.
Yeah, good people.
The best people.
Oh, I love you. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Good night, everyone. Oh, and this will be on Patreon. If anyone wants to watch the live streams, they'll be on there. And link in the description.